Hey guys, Micah from Black Bear Custom Kydex. I have a really quick video for you, and I mean quick. It's going to be just a couple minutes. Obviously, I usually ramble, but today I got to get out the door real quick to mail this and got plans. So I have two sheaths, both of them going to, sorry, man, I am losing my train of thought right now. It's bad. Both of them going to Will up in Greeley, Ontario. And Will asked for a sheath for his M16 14 SFG or ZSF. I can't remember which variant of the M16 14 he has. This is a folding knife from CRKT. It's very popular. This one's a little bit old and not so smooth anymore, so but it still works as a good molding prop for all the others. So in case you're wondering, as long as it's M16-14, I believe all of them will fit one another's sheaths. They all have the same outer perimeter, outer diameter, or dimensions all around. So anyway, he asked for me to make that sheath for him in flat black with coyote brown as the locking mechanism on here. You can see it rides on a tech lock, and you can achieve a couple different angles with it. This is what I find to be the most convenient, the most natural, and you can find just a slightly more angled version of it if you use the bottom eyelet and the very top, I believe, or maybe it's the corner eyelet, but you can turn that tech lock or that sheath even more on the tech lock. So right now it's about there. You can get it to about there. So yeah, either position I think works. This one happens to ride more on the face of the tech lock, so maybe you want to experiment with the other one, Will, and see what you like, but I really like it like this. All right, so one thing with the M16s, you got to be really specific about how you put it in, because this front notch here, which I think is supposed to serve a similar function to like the Emerson Wave feature, where if it's in your pocket, you can snag that on your pocket and sort of get it to auto deploy your knife for you. And it comes in handy as far as making the Kydex work for that same purpose. However, putting it back into the sheath, you can't go in quite the same way that you would with some other knives like a Paramilitary 2, for instance. So this one, you need to kind of hook that part in almost like you're swinging an axe. So get that inside the sheath like so, and then you can kind of just twist it as you push up. And you'll notice when it's in all the way, and this little divot here really helps to kind of shore it up and make sure it's in place nice and good. This has a locking mechanism on it. This is the locking concept created by Kevin Robinson over at Thai Tactical. Kevin has given me some advice and given me permission to use this concept in my work, so thank you, Kevin. If you guys haven't checked out Thai Tactical, please go do that. Awesome guy, awesome sheaths. That said, how it works essentially, it's just this little hook over the top of two little fins, and what it does is it pinches the Kydex. Once you have it looped over both fins, it's locked. It pinches the Kydex and makes it very difficult to draw the knife. It's still possible, but it takes a lot of force to do it. So all you really want to do is lock it up when you're not using it. When you are going to use it, it's as simple as pushing it like so with your thumb. You'll hear the click, and then when you draw, just make sure that you're rotating your wrist and drawing quickly, and it'll open full deploy every time. Let me show you what happens if you don't rotate your wrist. If you just kind of pull straight down, well, that worked. A lot of the time what happens is you get a partial deploy. I guess I'm on fire right now. I'm making it work every time, but it does happen though, and I think part of it is honestly just practicing, making sure that you're good with the technique. Obviously, it's a piece of equipment that you might have to use in an emergency, or might choose to use in an emergency, and you need to be proficient with it, not only for your own safety, but the safety of those around you. You don't want to have an accidental swing and cut someone or something you're not supposed to, so practice always. All right, so that's the folding knife sheath we got. And then he also sent me his Blackhawk Blades Gideon knife. This is a really cool knife. I really like this thing. He asked me if I could make a sheath for it with a ceramic rod sharpener, an Exotac fire rod, a Sunto clipper, and all carrying on a tech lock. And he also wanted to have a slide lock, or he said a locking mechanism. I choose slide locks on the fixed blades. I think it's the best option. Although, keep your eyes peeled, I am trying to develop something else. I'm not sure if I'll actually achieve it or not. I've got a concept in my head that I'm tinkering with, so we'll see if it comes to fruition. But anyway, here is what I came up with. He asked for flat black with Cryptek blood red as the accent piece. Is going to be a right-handed carry. He wanted to be able to carry it as a cross draw primarily, as well as horizontal or vertical if he so chooses. One thing you want to watch out for is that the horizontal carry is currently set up to be, I mean, if you're carrying it as a scout position, it'll be set up as a left-handed scout, and the reason is because this side will be up against your back. So imagine it's against my back, and I have to reach around and draw it with my left hand. And this is not interchangeable because all of the accessories here are only designed to be on one side of the sheath. That's just sort of the nature of the beast sometimes, depending on the size of the knife, sheath, and what accessories you choose. Alright, so looking at this, we've got a nice easy insert. There's no rattle, no play. The draw on it is certainly not ballistic. There's a lot of weird things going on with the blade geometry. This big loop down here, and this thumb ramp going on up here, and then the blade actually flares out. So I wasn't able to get quite a ballistic one-handed draw, but it is, I would say, a very comfortable one-handed draw. Sorry, I think I'm snagging on something here. There we go. So one of the things that I'm not super happy about with this is, if you look here, this isn't much of a thumb groove or finger groove. Usually I get a real good size full finger groove, but the slide lock has to come up to here. It has to go past this nub for it to be effective. So unfortunately, just kind of the shape of it, and it also has to be close to the knife for it to work. So this was sort of the best I could do with this particular thing, but you can still get the tip of your forefinger up in there, and enough to give you some drawing power. And as it comes out, you literally just slide that 1.5 inches or so to complete your forefinger grip, and then you're all set. You're ready to use your knife. And I have a feeling, most of the time I would probably be moving up here to choke up in that choil anyway. So I'm not too worried about it. It wouldn't bother me, and so I left it this way. I think it works just fine. And then all you have to do to engage that slide lock is grab that Chicago screw at the front here. I left it available on the front and the back, and you just pull it all the way up, and man, it really locks it in place. I can still draw it with gorilla strength. I can rip these apart, but it takes a lot of force to do it. So for all intents and purposes, that is locked up. One thing I think that is a little bit interesting about this that I haven't really done before, but I thought I would give it a shot, is the Blade Tech lock here on the back. You can see currently it's set up to carry like this at an angle, so it'd be on his left hip, angled slightly upward for a comfortable cross draw. Man, I'm gonna flare that out a little bit, I guess. I keep hitting it on the way in. I'm not sure why it wasn't happening before, but anyway. Alright, so comfortable cross draw, but you can actually just click it up into place to be a fully horizontal carry. So you can go between the two. How I achieved that is I actually just milled a really short slot, and by milled I mean used a heat gun to heat up a utility knife and cut a slot. That's how I do my milled slots. So they're not the cleanest looking, but they do function really well. So it does have a little milled slot. So watch this screw right here. You can see that move. Obviously we got the Exotac fire rod here. Easy draw loop there. Got some shock cord to retain it as it shrinks from use. You got your ceramic rod down here. Little Kydex handle for you as well. And last off, we have the Suntoe clipper. This is removable. You will need to remove it to get an accurate reading. All you have to do is kind of lift up and then pull it out. You can see there's a little hole drilled there. The tooth on the top of that compass will sink in there and give you a nice flat profile, and the little clipper portion of it will fit in behind in that groove. So All right, I know I said this was going to be a short video, and now I'm running behind, so I'm going to end this real quick, guys. If you like these sheaths, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you like the channel, I ask you to subscribe, and definitely comment down below. Let me know what you think of the M16 14 series knives and this Blackhawk Gideon. Blackhawk knives, they make some really cool stuff. So, all right, guys, like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you for sticking around, and tune in for the next one. God bless.